Shatterline is a free-to-play game that just released recently into early access, and in my opinion it's kind of like Rogue Company and Second Extinction mixed together, kind of mixed with maybe some other games, but that's the best comparison I could think of at the moment. Rogue Company and Second Extinction. Rogue Company mostly for the heroes that they got, like they have 8 characters that have their own abilities, kind of like Rogue Company, but I guess not as well. I don't know, just it's kind of like Rogue Company, but in the multiplayer it's kind of like Rogue Company, but it's not as good as Rogue Company, the versus mode, but it's kind of like Rogue Company. And Second Extinction because of its other PvE modes, but we're gonna get into that in a minute. I don't even know what I'm doing with this intro.
Shellguard, your job is to clear a path for that wagon. Good luck.
Versus has modes like Team Deathmatch, Demolition, Conquest. It's basically your standard multiplayer stuff in, you know, first-person shooter games. This game actually kind of falls a little short in this area, in my opinion. I mean, like, yes, you can have fun in versus mode with your standard multiplayer modes, you know, Demolition, Deathmatch, all that stuff. But to me, the multiplayer versus modes in this game are probably the least interesting modes in the game, and it's the part of the game that I'm the least interested in, and it just feels like, I don't know, it feels like it's missing something, and it just kind of makes me want to play Rogue Company instead when I play the versus mode. The versus modes also feels unbalanced to me, and I really can't put my finger on exactly why, but it just feels unbalanced and off to me. And I don't really like the maps. They're kind of small, and none of them really stand out as memorable, and just, I don't know, I just don't really care for them that much. And I don't really have much to say about the versus mode really that much either, to be honest. It's not my favorite, and it's the least played mode, or the least played part of this game for me. Actually, I will add a few more things. I think this game would do better if it added a mode that's kind of like, or made the game, yeah, basically have a mode like Rogue Company where you pick your characters, you use, you know, you have your characters' abilities and everything. They kind of have it in the game. They have the demolition mode. It's basically exactly the same as Rogue Company, but without some of the features that Rogue Company has in other games like CSGO, where, you know, you buy your weapons and you have these round-based 1 life, and then Rogue Company you pick your characters and like they have these abilities, and I think it should go down that route more. Right now it kind of feels like the multiplayer kind of feels like Rogue Company mixed with Call of Duty, and it just, I don't know, it just feels, it's weird. And also the hitboxes in this game also feel a little bit weird. Mostly it feels a bit off in the PvE, but sometimes even in the PvP. Like, I'll have my scope dead on an enemy and I know it's directly on that enemy, and I shoot and I can kind of see the bullet just go right through the enemy. Like, it didn't register. But that hardly happens, but it does feel like it happens sometimes. Oh, also one more thing, this kind of doesn't have to do with any particular mode, but the snipers in this game, the scopes on the snipers need to zoom in more. They just, like, you have this big scope on your sniper rifle and it doesn't even zoom in really. It just, you can't, I don't know, it's weird, and I want it to zoom in more, and I want to try to do some like quick scopes and multiplayer and stuff like that, but it's just weird when it doesn't zoom in, and yeah, it just feels weird, and just zoom in the sniper scopes more.
Just be careful. Don't get over your heads.
Expeditions is the highlight of this game for me. It's probably the best mode and most interesting mode in this entire game, and it is probably the main reason I kept playing it. It's also a PvE mode and not a PvP mode. It's the mode that I played the most, and in my opinion, this is where the game should focus on the most, and just continue to upgrade this mode particularly for the game. And you can tell that they put a main focus on this mode because they have what are called modifications, but it's basically, it's like blueprints from Call of Duty. It's basically attachments or some, stat attached to a gun, but the gun is basically, you're getting it for the skin, basically. But modifications are pretty much the same thing. It's a cool skin, but they have a bonus stat for PvE. I'm not sure if the stat goes in PvP. It really wouldn't make sense for it to be in PvP, but I know it's for PvE, and you'll get 300 blueprints from playing expeditions, or completing challenges. You'll collect blueprints, and then when you get 300 blueprints, you can make a modification, and the modification is basically a cool skin with like 10% extra damage on the gun or something like that, and it's for PvE. And it's a cool little system. So the more you play expeditions, the more modifications you get, the more cool skins you get for your guns, and it's cool. This mode is kind of like a roguelike or a roguelite mode. Still not really sure what the difference is between those. I used to not really care for roguelike type games, but I started getting into them more recently. I've been just enjoying those types of things more, and they're very replayable. But anyways, in this mode, you start with the pistol, and you need to complete 4 objectives to complete the expedition. While running around the map, going to your objectives, there are supply drops that give you upgrades, and those supply drops also have different grades to them. So if you do one objective, it will upgrade the supply drops to grade 2, and then so on. You can just continue to do that until you get to objective 4, and if you beat objective 4, you win. But in those supply drops, you get upgrades. Those upgrades could be anything from different guns or buffs, like getting a kill charges your ultimate faster, or melee. When you melee, lightning hits from the guy that you melee to the rest of nearby enemies, or infinite clip, where as long as you're hitting the enemy, you have infinite ammo. So basically every bullet that hits an enemy, you get refunded a bullet, and it's super cool, super useful. And the infinite clip I'm talking about, infinite clip is super useful and cool. And then you also have one that's called Sentry, where if you aim down your sights, you do double damage, but you can't move. So as soon as you aim down your sights, you're just like stuck there until you stop aiming down your sights. It can get you killed, but you also do double the damage, so it's really good to just kill bosses with. It's just super useful for bosses. But the upgrades can be anything, and you get different upgrades from each run because it's randomly selected, so you never know which upgrades you're going to be getting. They also do kind of reward exploration, so if you like explore a little bit and don't go directly to the objectives, sometimes you can find hidden supply drops that aren't marked and you can get some extra upgrades. Or you can find cat statues, and the cat statues, when activated, increase your ultimate's progress, so they charge your ultimate faster. I think every time you activate a cat statue, it's like 30%. So if you have 70% on your ultimate and you activate that cat statue, your ultimate's ready to go. You also get your character's abilities from supply drops, so you're gonna have to choose your abilities at the supply drops and get those upgrades if you want to use them. And the abilities are whatever your character, character you're playing. Like one can go invisible, one has frag grenades and smoke grenades, one has glass wall grenades, and just so on, just a bunch of different abilities, whatever character you're playing basically. There's also contamination. As you progress, contamination goes up, and each time it maxes out, the enemies will get a buff. Like for example, if contamination goes up by 1, all of a sudden you got flying enemies that will spawn in the sky, and if they reach you, they explode, and when you kill them, they explode, which makes it more difficult because you got more explosions going on and more explosions that you gotta watch out for, and just explosions. You got crawling things going after you, exploding. Everything's exploding in this game.
Connect to the control panel to summon a new ball.
There are a total of 4 objectives every expedition, but the 4th one is always a boss fight, so really there's only 3 objectives that change every expedition. You never know which ones you're going to get, and I'm not sure how many there are exactly, but there are at least 5 random objectives, and they are randomly selected when you arrive to the objective. The last objective, as I said, is always a boss fight, and you get XP credits and blueprints for completing objectives. XP for leveling up, credits to purchase attachment slots and unlock new weapons for leveling, and blueprints are for modifications, which are basically skins with some extra stats on them. After completing a objective, you can extract to get the reward or move on to the next objective to get a bigger reward. At first, it starts out with like 2 blueprints, then 4, then 8, then 12, and you can extract after completing any objectives if you want to and get those blueprints right away. Or you can continue, and if you continue but die, your reward is cut in half. So if you have 8 blueprints and you try to go for the 4th objective, which is the boss fight, but you end up dying, it will get cut in half and you'll get 4 blueprints instead of 12 that you were going for. There's also a PvP campaign, kind of. I mean, it's supposed to be there, and there was one mission in the game. It was called like Operation Red Lake, and it was decent actually. I enjoyed the mission, but it's not really complete, and they took the mission out of the game as of yesterday, so it's gone now and you can't play it anymore at this moment. I don't know why they took it out, but there's gonna be apparently a total of 4 missions or levels or parts to the story. It says number 4 in the early access page, so 4 or something, and it's gonna be a PvE story mission kind of campaign mode, which sounds kind of cool, but it's not really a thing at this moment.
You'll be saved.
The shooting in this game is pretty fun. Most guns feel good to use and have good sound effects. Snipers feel especially good to use for some reason, and getting headshots is very satisfying. And on the opposite side of that spectrum, the shotguns, they kind of suck in like every way possible. I found myself only using shotguns to complete a daily challenge, and when I was using shotguns to complete this challenge, or actually it was a weekly challenge, it was get 50 kills with shotguns, and it's never been more painful. I've never had like a worse time using a shotgun, and it was like the most, I almost stopped playing because the shotguns, they just like suck. I don't know what to say. The shotguns kind of suck. I mean, they're really good when you're up so close that you could just knife the person, then they're really good. But if you're not that close to, like, if you're not knifing distance away from people with the shotguns, they're kind of useless. Like, I had the automatic shotgun. It has 6 bullets in the magazine, but it takes like 5 to kill somebody. And by the time you shoot 3 bullets, if it didn't kill somebody and they have an assault rifle or something, you're dead. You can't shoot 5 bullets faster than someone can kill you with their assault rifle or SMG or even sniper or marksman rifle. The shotguns just suck in this game, and they kind of need a buff. But other than that, the gunplay, in my opinion, is pretty satisfying. The animations are great. The guns feel great. Really, it's probably one of the best parts about the game. I mean, it's a first-person shooter, and the shooting is great, so that means that it's doing a good job. I don't know what else to say about that. Other than I'm never ever probably going to use shotguns again in this game unless they force me to use them for some weekly challenge. This game actually, this game actually surprised me kind of, because I downloaded the game and I didn't play it at first, and for like a whole week it just sat there, and I played other games and I didn't even touch the game. But then finally I got kind of bored, and I just clicked on the game to play like maybe, I don't know, play it for like 30 minutes or something, and then I started playing the game, and right when the game started I was like, oh, oh, I don't know. You know, I'm not really feeling this game right now. And then like maybe 5 minutes later, it grabbed me and it didn't let go, and I sort of got addicted. And as soon as I started playing Expeditions, I couldn't stop playing Expeditions, and I'll probably continue to come back to this game to play Expeditions, but I probably won't play Versus that much until they change some things, or you know, to complete some weekly challenges maybe. But the main mode I'm going to be playing in this game is Expeditions. Also, this game has a battle pass that you do the challenges for, by the way, and the Expeditions has a bunch of challenges for, you know, daily, weekly. The Expeditions has a lot of challenges. So does Versus, but I tend to get less Versus challenges than Expedition challenges because I think the Expeditions is the main mode. So from the battle pass, also from just mostly playing Expeditions, it seems like you can level it pretty quickly, because after 2 days of playing I leveled it to rank 20. So that's pretty nice. Only 2 days, that's like 10 ranks a day, and I didn't even complete all the weekly challenges. I completed the dailies every day, except for today actually, but I completed like half of the weekly challenges, and by that I mean like half of every week. It's up to like week 3 right now, I think. And every week they also add like a new mode. There's some new mode that they add. Last week it was Operation Red Lake, and then this week it's the demolition mode, which is kind of fun. It's kind of more like Rogue Company, but the PvP just doesn't get me in this game. Anyways, I was just going on a rant or something. Like, I don't even know how long this video is about to be, but this game, I don't know what else to say. This game is fun and it's free, so check it out, give it a try. It's on Steam. I don't know if this game is on or coming to consoles. I should probably look that up right now. Alright, so I just looked it up. This game is a Steam exclusive, at least for right now. It says the developers plan to bring it to console, but I'm sure that won't be until it's out of early access, so that would be sometime next year in like February. They said February 2023 is when this game's going to release from early access, so probably around then is when it'll be coming to consoles. But for now, it's only on Steam. So if you got Steam, you're looking for a game to play, this game is free and it's fun. Go check it out. Not sponsored, by the way, but hey, you know, Shatterline, if you want to sponsor a video or something, or you know, anybody else, you know, just message me, I guess. Anyways, that's gonna be all for this video. So if you guys enjoyed it, if you did, make sure to hit that like button. Leave a comment below, tell me what you guys think about Shatterline, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, because my goodness, what are you doing not hitting that subscribe button? I mean, if you're subscribed, don't hit that subscribe button, but if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button, because you want to be subscribed. We both know it. I'll see you next time.